Sight, can you clap for me? Thank you. Awesome. So, how you doing? How you feeling?
Feeling cool, feeling good.
Good.
How y'all feel?
Good. I'm ready to take a nap.
Okay. Feel free, the couch is very comfortable right there.
Awesome. So, just a few tips and tricks. I'll be asking questions, as you already know. I don't plan to be in the video, so if you can insert the question within your answer, that would be great. I'm going to start off with asking who you are. So you can say your name. You can say you're a graffiti artist or however you want to present that.
Yeah.
And you can go into a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
And then from there, I'll go into the rest of the questions. If you ever need to have a second to think about what you need to say or you want to say, feel free to take that moment. No need to say sorry, no need to cut the cameras. The cameras are always rolling. Just reset whenever you're ready.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Okay.
If everyone could turn in silent their phones. You don't have to turn it off, just silent them. And from there, we're ready to rock and roll.
Okay.
Okay. So, tell us who you are.
So, I'm Sight Zilla. I'm a graffiti writer. Sometimes I do graffiti art, but I don't do any street art. I'm totally against street art. Street art is imposter. That's a whole nother story. Born and raised in South Central Los Angeles. Kind of like trying to use graffiti as a way to heal and help people grow and transform into the people they need to be. I got an art cooperative we got going. We got the UPN crew. We're trying to we're not trying, but we're getting the community involved, teaching kids how to heal through painting and art. And I think what we're trying to do is something that no other graffiti crew has done, which is reshape not only the way we look at graffiti, but also the way as how we heal through art and how we could take advantage of using art and different principles and different art forms to heal internationally. So we've been all around the world. So we got that movement going. And that's about it, man. Just I love graffiti. I'll do it till the day I die, and hopefully and willfully we will change the world, reshape the world.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about the difference between graffiti and street art?
Graffiti is more like self-expression, forms of healing, forms of decompression, forms of letting go, and graffiti is a means of gaining control over one's environment at a time where people feel like they don't have no control of their life, they don't have no real voice. So graffiti is one of those tools and one of those healing methods that could help with that and help you exist, because you can with graffiti you could find your character, your identity, your alter ego can be born. But street art is totally different. Street art is more of an imposter. It's deceitful. It takes from graffiti. So street art, what little people don't know is, that there's the colorful octopuses, the colorful cats and dogs, or colorful imagery that covers up the high-rise buildings that are too much to afford. People see these images, they get all excited, but it makes you forget about the poverty, the misogyny, and the stuff that exists. So they push this into communities, raises a real estate value, and pushes all the mom and pops out, pushes all the people that can barely afford to live there out, and all the people, all the hipsters, all the people with money come in, and they inherit what the community was going to give to their kids. what they want to leave behind for the next generation that gets taken away. So street art is mainly something that's pushed by the banks, by the galleries, and it's for aesthetic value, and it's street art is just something to generate money and put out the welcome mat for gentrification.
Can you tell me what makes you powerful?
What makes me powerful is people. People make me powerful. People on my crews, my family, the people that I interact with, whether it's negative or positive. It's all, at the end of the day, it's situations and opportunities to get better, to make myself better and to evolve. So I think people make me powerful, and that's the main thing I'm grateful for, people in general.
And when you talk about people in your crew, can you elaborate what your crew is and who this collective of people are?
I mean, the main crew that I push is UPN, Circle Triangle Square. They've been there for me. We support each other. Whenever we down, we pick each other up. We pushing. Right now, we having talks, and we talking to all the youngsters and the people that came behind me to be more business minded, to get involved in their art, and so we can bring it back to the community, help the community heal, and also heal each other, heal ourselves. So we're a crew of all different ages, a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of diversity. And one of the best things about my crew, our crews, is we redefine what the color lines are. So we push away the racism, we push away the biases, we push away the dogmas, and we embrace each other. Something that was a dream from Martin Luther King, and something that was sought after by Malcolm X.
Thanks for sharing that. Can you tell us a little bit about what your life was before the pandemic? What was an everyday?
I mean, like, my life before the pandemic, for me, I was being very selfish. I was just trying to get money, trying to build and do for me. But after catching COVID and almost dying from COVID, it showed me that I want to leave something behind for my people, for my circle, my kids, my family, and want to leave them something to believe in, something a part of me that that they didn't know about, that I was passionate about. So before the pandemic, I was selfish, but now I'm all about community, giving back, helping the world heal, whatever I have to do. And it's not easy trying to help people heal. People guard their wounds. People are scared to heal. They don't know what you're gonna do. They think you might make it worse. So with the art, with the graffiti, with catching COVID, that gave me inspiration, breathe life back into my soul on what to do.
Can you explain what your pandemic experience was like?
I mean, pandemic experience for me it was just horrible because you're just watching everybody suffer. I had COVID, so I thought I was gonna die, and I'm laying on my bed, life flashing before my eyes, remembering childhood and different things. So that was pretty deep. And then being powerless during the pandemic, not being able to help people, not being like, people are suffering, but we got to stay isolated. We got to quarantine. So, and then the way we communicated got changed too. So now I can't see nobody's face. So you really don't know who you're really talking to. There's not no real intimate discussion anymore. Because it's like talking to foot soldiers from Ninja Turtles or something like that. It's like, how do you get intimate and personal with somebody that's wearing a mask? So, you don't know if you're dealing with Master Shredder, or you're dealing with, the Last Samurai, Tom Cruise or something like that. So you don't know who you're dealing with. So the pandemic for me was just like was it was bordered on a lot of fear, a lot of confusion. But you know, when life gives you lemons, you can make lemonades and give you a certain different look at things and how to grow, how to change. If you were welcome open to that.
Agreed. Can you tell me what was your most potent memory of the pandemic? Something that brought like big realization for you.
I think the most potent thing about the pandemic is hearing about everybody dying and hearing about people losing loved ones and the fear of losing family and friends that are very close to you. Because I lost a lot of friends because of the coronavirus and the pandemic. And, you know, trying to grasp reality of what this really is. And while understanding I'm kind of powerless to the situation. And then just not knowing what to do. Like, okay, should I take this vaccine? I don't know, they just made it in like 3 days. Should I take the vaccine, or do I take this vaccine as experimental to you know, be around longer if it does work? What if it don't work? What if I turn into one of the X-Men and shit and I'm shooting lasers out of my eyes? I don't it was just so much like confusion, like so much like going on. So the thing that stood out to me was just the uncertainty. What are we gonna be as a people? We can barely stand together on the bus. We can barely wait in line for food at fast food joints and drive-through. We barely respect each other in regular situations. And now this is a big situation that tests us. And in some areas it made us better, in some areas it made us worse. So that what stood out to me.
And now coming out of the pandemic, what's something that stood out to you the most from the experience that is related to your topic?
The thing that stood out to me the most coming out of the pandemic is showing how strong we are as a people, that we persevered. We were able to move one foot in front of the other, despite the setbacks, despite losing people, and realizing we just as tough as roaches too. We can't kill us off. Whatever they were trying to do, or whatever that virus was, can't kill us off. But I think most importantly was just you saw who was real, you saw who was your family, you saw who was your friends, you saw who you really loved. Everybody that you really cared and trust and loved, they stood out more. And then that was just big. Because then you knew that you can get sick and die 3 days later, a week later because of COVID. But coming out of the pandemic, it shows you and showed me who my friends are, what's important, who my family is, what love is, and who I'm willing to die for.
And how does that relate to your topic?
Coming out of the pandemic and it relating to my topic, is basically, graffiti is one of those forms of artistic expression that is demonized, but there's another side to the coin where it can bring a lot of healing and it could do a lot for the world. And I think it's one of those antidotes that a lot of people are sleeping on because they got a bad rap. Graffiti is that antidote that will help you grow, heal, and challenge you to see the world in a different way. It'll teach you how to look at abstract things, not only the abstract art, but the abstract concepts of the world, and help you be a better leader, because artists make the best leaders. I don't know one artist that's a leader. Joe Biden, I don't think he's an artist, so I don't think he's a good leader. Donald Trump ain't no artist, so we need artists as leaders. They make the best leaders, but coming out of that, graffiti, I'm laying on my deathbed, and I'm like, I've been doing graffiti for a while, I'm passionate about it, but people don't know it, and I need to show people and let people know that this can give them power, and educate them on how they can use it to rebuild not only their hearts, but their minds, they souls, their community, and relationships.
What is your personal pandemic to power? So, as you already know, that's the topic of the TEDx Crenshaw, and similar to what you're saying, how we suffered through a lot during the pandemic, and we felt powerless, and now coming out of it, so you can say, what do you feel like is now your personal testament from that experience that makes you powerful?
You know, when I thought I was gonna die, I decided to make an album and about graffiti and what it is. So while I had COVID, I made an album called Graffiti Motivation 101, just to leave something behind. But little did I know, as I was talking about graffiti, it was very empowering to speak on it. When I put the album out, it touched so many people in a way, and it educated them in a way to where they felt more knowledgeable. They felt empowered with graffiti. Now I got people coming up to me saying, take me out. I want to go do some graffiti. Even you said it, like, I want to go do some graffiti. So now I'm like, okay, cool. It made me feel empowered that, you know, like, here I am. I just felt like another person in the machine. But I have this gift. I have these tools that I can use to help people and help them transpire and persevere and conquer whatever the issue is, whatever they're going through. I could do it through the graffiti, with the graffiti. So I found out graffiti is empowering for me. I can use those same methods and empower other people.
Using your gifts to help others. I love it. I don't know. Did Zanetta reach out to you to be a speaker, or how did that?
I mean,
transpire?
I reached out to Zanetta. You know, I was inspired by my wife Nikki. She's like most popular person in the climate industry. She like runs the climate. If y'all don't know her, y'all need to Google her. But she did a TED Talk, watched her do it, and then I was like, okay, it might be interesting to do a graffiti TED Talk. There's not too many graffiti TED Talks on graffiti, and I felt like one needed to be done because the ones that do exist, they're just about questioning if graffiti is a crime or is it a form of art, or they're trying to break down what it is. So I wanted to give a different perspective on it, and where graffiti can be empowering and healing and offer a different side of the conversation.
And you did speak on a little of this, but why are you choosing the TEDx stage specifically to do this? Well, TEDx Crenshaw stage.
I mean, TEDx Crenshaw, first and foremost, is one of the only TED Talks I know that promotes black people and people of color. So if I'm gonna do a TED Talk, I gotta do it on TEDx Crenshaw first. Not in Amsterdam, not in Australia, but where they promote people of color. Two, all those other TED Talks on graffiti wasn't done by nobody of color. Well, maybe one or two, but to want to give it from a black perspective, we got it from brown people's perspective, Asian people. So I just want to give it from a black person's perspective on this talk. But hopefully I speak for all backgrounds and creeds and races and colors and alphabets, whatever you want to, everything. So.
So we average about 200 to 300 people on the TEDx stage, and now that we're moving on to possibly doing it at Crenshaw High, we'll have up to 500 ideally.
Okay.
If you can touch at least 20% or 2 people, what's the one thing you will want them to take away from it?
If I can touch 20% of the audience if I can touch 20% of the audience and leave them with something, there's 3 things I want them to be left with. One, graffiti is not what you think it is. It's not just a crime. It is an artistic form of expression, and people do it for different reasons, and different types of people do it. not all of them are scumbags. Like, there's some people that are like bums, and there's lawyers that do it. There's business owners that do it. There's politicians, not gonna say their names, but there's politicians and engineers that do it. So they're not all scumbags, and you know, everybody does it for different reasons. Some people are mad, some people are hurt, some people are happy. People do graffiti for so many different reasons, but the main reason that people do it is to express themselves and to heal. The second thing I want people to take away from it is be left with is like, if you want to learn how to do graffiti, you want to learn how to support the cause, come get at me, come get at my crew. We got an art crew, UPN crew. We're an art crew that is all about people learning the arts, learning to heal with the arts, and growing with the arts, and conquering with the arts. I know they said love